On a recent vacation to Singapore, I took that opportunity to do a mini experiment to see what it would take to get a bag as a first-time walk-in customer at Hermes. In this video, I'll be sharing my experiences at 6 separate Hermes stores in 2 different countries, what I learned, what I was told, and more importantly, what I ended up bringing home. I'm actually going to have to break this video into 2 parts. This first video will go over my experiences at each store as well as all of my non-bag unboxings. The second video will be solely dedicated to the bags I brought home. Yes, you heard correct, bags, plural. I'm so excited to share those with you, so please be sure to subscribe and watch out for that video. Obviously, this was not a true experiment since a lot of conditions weren't held constant. For instance, I had a set of items I had budgeted for, so if the store had the item, then great, I crossed them off the list, and if not, I went into the next store looking for those exact same items or the next ones on my list. Now keep in mind, everything on my list was considered on the less expensive side according to Hermes standards, meaning I didn't have any big ticket items like fine jewelry since I know those are typically more likely to result in bag offers. The one thing I kept constant, however, is at every store I would ask if they had any bags available, both quota and non-quota bags, and each experience was wildly different. Now, the first store we visited was in the US, so I want to maintain a bit of anonymity, but let's just say it's one of the locations in Texas. Again, I've never visited this location before, and I tried to make an appointment ahead of time, but when I called and reached the General Customer Service Center, I was told the store does not take appointments if you're not already working with an existing SA at the location. That's kind of bizarre, since I've called plenty of times at other locations and was always able to make an appointment even as a first-time visitor. Now, when we arrived, the location was fairly busy. No one greeted us at the door, but finally an SA approached us, and she was really friendly and easy to talk to. So after picking up some of the items that they did have in stock, I asked if there were any bags available, and in short, she had me email her my wish list, including quota bags, which I did, and so we'll just wait and see how all that pans out. She almost made it sound like she didn't have any bags available personally, but other SAs at the store may have had some available. So I guess if I was really pushy, I could have asked if she could tell me which SA had it, but I'm not sure how well received that would have been, especially since she did offer to have me send her my wish list. The second store was at an airport location in the US. We went right around closing time, which was midnight, and I could tell all of the SAs were just kind of over it. They weren't extremely helpful or friendly, plus they had nothing that I wanted. When I did ask about bags, she did say they typically get a couple of pieces a month, all types of bags in all sizes, but they are first come, first serve, so the bags are usually typically gone the very day they arrive, which I can understand. As an airport location where everyone is just passing through, it's not really possible to build any sort of relationship, but correct me if I'm wrong if you've had other experiences. And she also mentioned coming in the evening or closing time also severely lessens the chances that bags are still available for the day. My best chance would have been earlier in the day, but again, that's hard to control when you're on a layover. So on to the official start of our Singapore vacation. Again, just to maintain a bit of anonymity, I won't disclose which location in Singapore per se. Just know that there are 3 main locations in Singapore plus a location at the airport, and suffice to say we visited all of them. At the first location, I was able to make an appointment the week before Christmas. Now, just as a spoiler alert, I was unable to make an appointment at any of the other stores the actual week of Christmas. I was told we were too close to the holiday period, and no other stores were taking new appointments until after. Now, we worked with an SA at that first store who wasn't overly friendly, but she got down to business, which was great and fine by us. And when I asked if they had any bags available, she did ask if I was looking for anything in particular. I gave her 3, and to her credit, she did seem to look to see if she had any of those in stock. And at the end, she said no, but she asked me how much longer I would be in town, and before we left the store, she did say she would contact me if anything came available during our trip. So another spoiler alert, I did hear from her the day before we left, and I did get one of the bags that I asked for. Also, I had to make a new profile because the profiles aren't globally linked yet, and she didn't know for sure when that would be completed. The second location in Singapore we went to without an appointment, and thankfully the line was fairly short. We were in the store in less than 5 minutes, and an SA greeted us at the door, and he was a complete joy to work with. He was super friendly, helpful, and chatty, and surprisingly, this store seemed to be the best stocked in terms of what we had on our list. When I asked if they had any bags available, he offered the Cabas tote in 3 color options and said that was all he had right now. But he also did say if we were to come back in the future, especially early next summer, he would make sure he had something available. Again, that was just really incredibly nice of him. What was interesting was when I was trying on the totes, there was another customer working with another SA who was watching me try on the bags. And when she asked about them, her SA told her that they weren't available and I was just trying them on. At around the same time, another lady who had just entered the store was watching me try on the bags, and she asked the closest available SA if there were any bags available, and he straight up told her no, and she just turned around and left. So I can only imagine how many times these poor SAs get bombarded with that exact question. The last location we went to, we walked in again without an appointment, and again the wait was short. This store didn't have any of the remaining items on our list, but no matter, it was still a really insightful visit because this was the only time I saw other people getting bag offers, which was really fun. We watched someone get offered a mini Kelly in either cray or nata with rose gold hardware, and another customer get offered a Picotin 22 in either like a biscuit or a chai with gold hardware. Now the mini Kelly lady was ecstatic. Picotin 22 lady was not so much. She clearly wanted one in the size 18, and her SA said that was the only thing they had available. I wanted to stick around to see if she took it. I mean, I would have in a heartbeat. I mentioned earlier before that a light colored 22 with gold hardware is something that's on my list. Now, at that store, we also watched another customer turn down purchasing a piece of fine jewelry since, in her words, there was no point if there were no bags available. Now, this location, surprisingly, even though we didn't purchase anything at all, we had the longest conversation with an SA about bags, and really how competitive it is in Singapore, even for non-quota bags. Bags in general are typically reserved for local residents, and bags are offered based on things like pre-spin. Now, those are her words, not mine. So it's very difficult for tourists or visitors to even establish a wish list for quota bags, which they are currently not taking anyways, at least for another half a year. Also, stores in Singapore don't share stock, and they are also unable to order from the Singapore Hermes website. And so the Singapore Hermes website actually had a ton of the items that I was looking for. So it was extremely insightful since in the US, your SA can help you order from the website. Now, the last location was the Hermes at the Singapore Changi Airport. Again, stock was extremely low on everything else, and they didn't have anything on our list, but they had some really nice bags on display, like Belides, Halsons, Picotins, as well as some men's bags, and they were kind enough to let us try them on, even though I didn't get any footage of it. When I asked about bags, so this was back in December, they mentioned that they weren't going to get any new shipments of bags until January, and even then they weren't going to get a lot just because Paris will be coming out of a very busy Christmas season. I also asked what type of bags they typically get, and the most commons were the Picotins and garden parties. Wallets are a lot harder to come by, so that's a really good piece of information to know as well. Now, if you have any insight you would like to share about your experiences shopping at Hermes as a first-time visitor, I would love to hear them. And if you were able to get any bags that were on your list without having to establish a relationship at the store. That's all I have for this video, so thank you for watching, and I hope to see you back for our next bag unboxing video.